Hello, art friends. My name is Fleshwad, and today I'm going to be drawing your Creepypasta OCs. So, a while back, in one of my cutie pasta videos, I'm Derpy Dude commented, I want to know if people can make up their own creepypastas for you. Like, make a story in the comments and you go over them and see which ones you like. Just asking. If anybody likes that idea, like this comment. And I loved that idea. There's so many good fan-made creepypasta OCs out there, but I only have 2 for you today. If this video can hit 350 likes, I'll make another one, which I really want to do, So if you like the art and you like the stories, make sure to click the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Just a little bit of a warning, the OCs in this video do feature blood, gore, self-harm, and violence. If any of these things make you uncomfortable, it may be wise to click away. Make sure to watch this video in the dark or with the lights off and your headphones on. Okay, now into the stories. Our first creepypasta OC comes from Starlight Moonshine and is about a little girl named Lucky. Lucky is a funny thing to call a child, right? Especially since what happened to her was the complete opposite. Her parents had given up on ever having kids. Lucky was their miracle child, and she was all they'd ever hoped for. She was always happy. Lucky had a passion for singing. By the age of 4, she could get most of a tune and words to a song right. However, her singing would lead to their untimely death. By the age of 9, Lucky was an amazing singer. But her parents had just divorced, and she hadn't heard from her mama yet. Her papa often came home drunk, and Lucky's singing would annoy him. But because she was so precious to him, he would ignore it. But he didn't realize that he was ignoring a big problem. If he had listened to her songs, he would have realized that something wasn't right. Lucky was singing very strange songs. They were often twisted lullabies or scary songs about murder and suicide. The only time Papa listened to Lucky's songs was when he died. She pinned him to the floor, eyes pitch black, and from her trouser pocket, she drew out a needle and thread. With inhuman strength, this little girl held her Papa down. She slowly sewed his lips together, giggling at the sound of her Papa's muffled cries of agony. But the neighbors heard the commotion and called the police. They couldn't save Lucky's Papa, but they were able to catch Lucky. She was sent to a mental asylum, but this mental asylum still believed in the older-fashioned ways of curing insanity. Every day they would strap Lucky to a chair and electrocute her. She was just a young girl, and they tortured her. But she wouldn't cry out, no matter how painful the treatment. Lucky refused to utter a single sound. However, when she was placed back inside her cell, she would sing her songs. No one knew what had happened to the girl. No one knew what had transformed her into the injured monster that sat in a cage, unable to be healed. But everybody was scared of her twisted songs, so they did the only thing they could think of. The guards snuck into Lucky's cell one night. Lucky was sedated and started to undergo an operation to remove her voice box. This was her cruelest punishment. Except it didn't go the way it should have. The voice box was removed, but something happened, and Lucky died a slow and painful death on the operating table. Now she roams the streets of the town she died in. She rips out the voice boxes of anyone she stumbles across, hoping that it can give her back her voice and that she can once again sing her haunting tune. Ringa, ringa, roses, a pocket full of poses. When the door closes, she will come for you. So that was the fan-made creepypasta of Lucky by Starlight Moonshine. Thank you so much for submitting your creepypasta. I really dug it. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really creepy. I would definitely love to see more of this character. So yeah. And in the description of Lucky, she is a smallish child with long red hair and pale skin. She has small freckles and emerald green eyes. However, they change to pitch black when she sings her songs. She wears a bloody hospital gown and is barefoot with a plaster around one of her toes. She has a huge slit down her neck and is always smiling a scary smile. I had a lot of fun drawing Lucky. I did only draw her from the waist up, as I did with the rest of the OCs, just because I knew I was going to be drawing a couple, and it was just to save a little bit of time, because did not have a lot of time. But I really loved reading all of your stories. So yeah, thank you so much for submitting your creepypasta. I loved it. Our next OC is not a creepypasta OC, but one from Instagram user your_common_stranger. This OC is named Unfrown in its creepy form, and Jamie in its human form. Here's a little background on Unfrown. Jamie, or its new name Unfrown, was just a regular high school student, but got bullied by the other children. Jamie was also the type to self-harm, so when Jamie changed into their new form, Unfrown, all of the cuts turned into smiles or mouths with razor-sharp teeth. The smiles also speak, and each one is either one of the voices that were in Jamie's head or Jamie themselves, and sometimes it is Unfrown, or one of Unfrown's many personalities. That is all of the background I have on Unfrown, but I had to draw them. The design is so cool, and I have like a really big thing for multiples of body parts, like eyes or mouths. I think it is really cool. By the way, I am also doing a giveaway on my Instagram page that ends on August 9th. And the way to enter is by, of course, following me on there and either reposting my OC or drawing them in your style. Your_common_stranger did draw my OC with their OC Jamie and Unfrown, and it was too cute to not put in my video. So here you go, soak in the cuteness. Or the creepy cuteness. Okay, next OC. Our last creepypasta OC goes by the name Ava, and was created by Liz Light. Ava was really small for her age. She just got into high school. Ava had periwinkle hair and little blue eyes. She wore a pink shirt with a blood red heart on the left side, and a dark pink skirt. She would love to pick roses on her way to school. On her first day of high school, a bunch of kids kept asking her if she was 10. The kids soon started laughing and making fun of her short size. "I'm 15, Ava yelled. Her eyes were in tears. "Aw, look at the crybaby." One of the kids laughed at her. Ava was really sensitive and hated when the kids kept calling her a crybaby. After school, she walked to the roses to pick them. Ava smiled as she picked them, forgetting everything that happened at school. Ava turned around and looked at her shadow. It was odd. The shadow of the rose was in the form of a knife. Ava didn't think anything of it and walked home. Kids kept calling her crybaby and shorty for weeks. Ava tried to forget it while picking roses. One day, one of the kids punched her for no good reason. Ava was bleeding and burst into tears. She hated her life. Ava ran back to the roses after school ended. She looked at her shadow and it gave Ava chills. The shadow had a twisted smile and blood-red eyes. It held the same knife but was covered in blood. Ava screamed, but the shadow made her go silent. "Don't worry, Ava," the shadow said in a twisted voice. "They will never bully you again." The shadow kept smiling. "What did you do to them?" Ava yelled. Ava never wanted them to get hurt. "I did nothing. It was you that did it," the shadow said, laughing. Ava was in a state of shock and couldn't move. After what felt like hours, Ava ran back home, crying and crying. The news reported that 5 kids were found dead at Ava's high school. For some reason, Ava smiled. It was like all her feelings went away. She didn't care that they were dead. She didn't care about anything. The shadow lurked behind her with the same twisted smile. "Kill them all, Ava," the shadow said. The shadow's knife was replaced by a rose. Ava had the same twisted smile the shadow did. She walked to school the next day. Everyone was on edge about the killing, whispering about the killer being in school. One day passed, and the news reporter said 6 students killed. 2 days passed, and 10 students were killed. Then 5, then 2, then 4, then 1. Ava was found dead in the rose bushes with a bloody knife, which had her fingerprints on it, saying that she killed herself. The police left and told Ava's family about her dying. The shadow sat there with a twisted smile, holding one rose. Sorry, Ava dear. You just weren't useful to me anymore," the shadow said, laughing. And that was the end of this creepypasta. I really love this story. I thought it was very spooky, and it actually reminded me of another drawing that I saw a while ago on Pinterest. This drawing. So credits to the original artist for the cool shadow idea. I read the story and it made me think about this drawing, and I was like, I want to try that. So it looks like the original artist is named Hisekai. That's how they signed the drawing, so I think that's their name. But yeah, sorry I didn't have more time for other creepypasta OCs, but I definitely want to do this video idea again. But that's going to be it for this video. Special thanks to my patron, Onirofan. Oh yeah, speaking of, they actually commissioned me to draw their OC, so here is Eloise. I did record this, but I can't find the second part for some reason, so I'm just going to show you this sketch. She is not a creepypasta, but she is from like a spooky background. So Eloise is 15 years old. She lives in a world where everyone knows about supernatural creatures, like werewolves, but those who can pass for human keep these things a secret and remain in hiding. She's always kept to herself and felt like an outsider, and hasn't made any friends yet going into her sophomore year at high school. This is mostly due to her eccentricities and poor social skills, which lead people to assume that she's either autistic, non-human, or a witch. She herself isn't really sure what it is that's different about her. She often seems a bit disconnected and has trouble maintaining a conversation, and can sometimes get overwhelmed and start repeating the same phrases over and over again. Her eyes always remain wide open and don't change much whether she's smiling or frowning. She also loves cute things and has an obsession with teddy bears, of which she has a giant collection on shelves lining every wall of her room. She even keeps a bag of gummy bears in her backpack all the time. So this is the finished result, thanks to Oniraphon for commissioning me. I've never really done a drawing of a person of color, and I plan to practice a bunch more and bring in more diversity to my art and style. So I really love this commission. I think Eloise is so cute, and I can't wait to hear more about her story. Okay, so now this really is the end of my video. If you would like to commission me to draw your OC and have them featured in my next Drawing My Subscribers OCs, definitely visit my Patreon. And if you would like to support my channel, I do have a $1 tier on Patreon as well. And with that donation comes a shout out. So yeah, every little bit helps and is definitely appreciated. I really hope you guys liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, bye!